Matthew chapter 10, verse 26 to 42, the end of the chapter. Jesus has been proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, this coming kingdom. He's been demonstrating what the kingdom looks like. And now he sent out his disciples to do the same, to imitate him. All very exciting stuff. They've been given the same authority of Jesus to heal the sick, to cast out demons, to advance the kingdom. And then we hit yesterday's reading. And we're starting to get the feel that this imitating of Jesus also includes maybe persecution, like Jesus was persecuted, being rejected, like Jesus was rejected, suffering, like Jesus suffered. There's a cost to discipleship, and there's a cost to stepping out and into and moving in that sort of kingdom power and authority. And that's where we pick up today's reading. Jesus is saying that this life of mission and power, there is a cost to it. But then he says, do not be afraid. Don't fear. Don't fear those who are against you and oppose you. Why? Well, for a number of reasons. Firstly, they may be able to harm the body and destroy the body, but they cannot destroy the soul, because only God can do that. And it's the soul, the real essence of who we are, that really matters. I think there's a real sense here that the cure for the fear of man is the fear of God. A healthy reverence and awe and recognition of who God is, his sovereign power. Secondly, and I think very much following on from a revelation of who God is, we know that even in our suffering, especially in our suffering, that God is with us. It says not two sparrows fall to the ground without the Father knowing. And actually, if you look at that in the original Greek, it doesn't say without the Father knowing. The word knowing isn't there. It just says a sparrow doesn't fall to the ground without the Father. And so what Bible translators have done, they've been really cautious and added the word knowing to the sentence in order to make sense of what Jesus is saying. But honestly, I think it makes perfect sense. I think Jesus is revealing here something about the Father, that the Father is with the sparrow in its final moments of life. That's when God draws closest. He is there with every single suffering aspect of his creation. And how much more valuable are we to him than a sparrow? He is with you. And so we can serve him without fear of man, because we know that the worst that people can do to us is destroy the body. And we know that God is with us in our suffering. That suffering doesn't mean that God has abandoned us or rejected us or is displeased with us. Indeed, it's an opportunity to draw closer. But then Jesus starts to talk with even more challenge in his message. Jesus isn't trying to remove all conflict. It's not this hippie Jesus trying to get everyone to love each other and be at peace. He's actually wanting to force the issue here. Are you with me or are you against me? Jesus is saying, if you're with me, then there's a sense that you're going to have to embrace this radical sort of discipleship. Then you'll encounter my peace and presence. But there's going to be conflict in that. You've got to decide. Even if others are deciding differently, you can't be neutral with Jesus. You are either for him or against him. And I think that's what we're reading here. And part of this radical choice to follow Jesus is around priorities of relationships. It's about loving Jesus first above all other loves. Now, the teaching of Judaism in Jesus' day was quite clear. Loving your parents was your highest duty, second only to loving God. So once again, we are confronted with Jesus speaking as if he is God. And for those who have tried to live in this way, with this priority, we have found in seeking to love Jesus first, that empowers us to better love our parents, our spouse, and our children. This Jesus pattern way of living really works. So some really challenging words today from Jesus, but those words are wrapped around this core of truth of the Father's love and the Father's presence and protection and peace. Indeed, I think it's only when we engage in the Father's purposes, his mission, that we really truly experience that presence, that protection, and that peace. Pray you'll have a blessed day. Amen.